we'll go ahead and get started. We're a little bit early, but Ms. Hurd, are we ready?
It's fine.
Okay.
The clock is actually slow, so you're about 3.
I've got about 3 till. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I know we have plenty to discuss today. Looks like everybody's present as far as commissioners. The minutes were mailed, and I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. We will move into discussion of Resolution 1230, a resolution authorizing participation in the Tennessee Valley Authority's time differentiated hours use of demand, TDHUD, pilot seasonal demand energy, PSDE programs, and amending the rate schedules of electric divisions to provide for TDHUD and PSDE rate schedules.
And there's a pop quiz if you can say it again without looking at your TVA does have 2 new pilot programs for the commercial and industrial customers, and I'll recognize Mike Boland to give you a summary of those.
Commissioners, I think this is the 4th time I've been up here talking about TVA pilot programs in the past 2 years, maybe 3 years. I think it's important to realize what TVA is trying to accomplish here. TVA has a growing demand on their system. The peaks are getting peakier. They have growing needs. One way of addressing that is to build more power plants. Another way of addressing that is to try to reduce those peaks. And particularly what TVA would like to do would be to reduce those peaks by moving that load from the peaky time of the day to the non-peak time, the time when they have excess capacity sitting idle waiting for the peak time. So TVA is incented to not build as much generation and to operate their existing generation more efficiently. And that's what they're about with these programs. As a result, they're trying to introduce pilot rates, particularly to the larger customers, to get them to shift load. And they're doing that by giving them the economic incentives to do that. Now, before I talk about these 2 programs, let me talk generically about both the programs. First of all, these programs are voluntary. The 2 programs we picked to talk about. Our customers can stay on the existing rates that they're currently being billed under, or they can opt for one or both of these programs. Secondly, these programs are designed so that KUB is financially indifferent. Our margin is the same if they elect these programs or if they want to stay where they're at. We're indifferent one way or the other. And the third thing is that unlike the original couple of programs we signed up for a couple of years ago, these programs don't require any material extra effort or investment on our part, because these are really just variations of what we've been doing. The initial one, you may recall 2 or 3 years ago, required us to do quite a bit of programming changes and quite a bit of other electronic changes that we had to make in order to bill them, because they're fairly complicated rates, just like the name implies. They're very complicated rates. But we've already undertaken all that a couple of years ago, so there's no additional really burden on us associated with offering these programs. So with that, the first program, the time differentiated hours use of demand, or TDHUD rate schedule, is a rate schedule actually that we're offering today. That was scheduled is currently scheduled to expire September 30th. We currently have 2 customers on this particular rate schedule. This rate schedule is what I would call a time of use rate schedule. The rates these customers that elect this pay are based upon the time of day. During the summer time, they pay higher rates late in the afternoon. During the winter time, they pay higher rates during the morning. They pay higher rates during the summer than they do the fall. They pay higher rates during the winter than they do the spring. They pay higher rates during the weekdays than they do on the weekends. So there's a lot of variability in the rates on this particular program. It's available to about 75 of our customers. And the rate is designed for people, number one, that electricity is a big cost to them that will motivate them to do things. And number 2, they don't use electricity all the time. They have the ability to move their usage around so that customers will seek out the lower cost times and actually operate their business in conjunction with the lower cost rates. The customers that, we've got, like I said, we've got 2 customers that are currently on this rate schedule. That's the first one. The next one, pilot seasonal demand and energy rate, is basically a seasonal rate. You take the existing rate that we have for these customers now is the same rate year-round. So much per kWh, so much per demand. And take and seasonalize that so that the summertime, the rate's higher, the fall, the rate's lower, the winter, the rate's higher, the spring, the rate's lower. You seasonalize the rate, but it doesn't vary by the time of day, it doesn't vary by weekend or weekday. It's just a seasonal type rate. This program is being offered only to our very largest customers. About 8 customers would be eligible for this particular rate schedule. Resolution 1230 has been prepared that will authorize us to participate in both of these rate programs. Authorize the President to execute the necessary agreements for TVA to participate. It creates the rate schedule for the pilot seasonal demand energy program. It replaces the existing TD HUD rate with the new TD HUD offer that TVA's put into effect. If elected, the customers participating on this would be billed under the new rate schedule starting in October. A little bit of a wrinkle here in that all this is contingent upon the TVA board acting. They're scheduled to act to authorize these programs tomorrow. In order for us to get our 2 board readings in that we need to offer a rate prior to October, we are actually having to go a little bit early of the TVA board. But contingent on them proving that these programs would be available to those customers that elected starting in October. Yes, ma'am.
I'm assuming this has been done in other areas, and in other areas, what kind of reduction from peak energy use do they use? Is it 5%, 10%?
Well, the reason they're doing this is to get more experience with it, honestly.
Okay.
The peaks to some extent are being driven as much by air conditioning load and by heating load during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, the residential customers don't have as much ability to move load around. Targeting the large industrial customers, they're the customers that really can change their processes. So they're going at it the right way and find out what works and what doesn't work.
Okay.
Mike, is this pilot seasonal? No, not that one. The second PSDE.
PSD.
That's it.
Yes.
Is that brand new?
It is. That one
Okay,
hasn't.
so we
been
haven't had any customers on that one.
No, but that's a real straightforward. You just change. Basically, you're changing rates 4 times a year.
And do we anticipate any of our customers? Has anybody expressed interest in it?
Yes. This one is being offered to the largest of our customers. The UT, Gerdau Air Steel, CMEX, all the large customers. And pretty much across the board, they are likely to take this particular rate. So if we move forward with approving these, it's quite likely that a large segment of our